welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And if you can't tell, I am recovering from being sick for it's been over a week now.
Yeah, Jess and I share a lot of things, including colds, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, my voice is finally back to being what we view as acceptable. So,
Yeah, everybody take your zinc, take your echinacea. I feel like I said that weird. I don't know. Now I'm just hyperfixated because I couldn't remember the word for weather app before this, and I was saying calendar and clock, so
yeah.
that's fun. But yeah, take your vitamins, folks. Because,
Vitamin C.
Yeah, this sucks. Everyone's had it. It's going around like crazy in Minnesota.
Yeah, there's been a ton of, I was telling Connie, I've been bringing a whole bunch of who knows what respiratory illnesses to the hospital. So
Yeah.
a lot's going around. Make sure you wash your hands.
Yes.
Number one way to prevent illness is by washing hands.
And not touching your face.
Yes.
But also washing your hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of gross, the amount of people who didn't really wash their hands until 2020.
I know.
Why? And like my question is mainly like when you come out of the bathroom, why have you not washed your hands? That's the best time to wash your hands. I don't get it. Someone explain to me.
But so today is going to be a little different for our Eclipse episode because we want to get a few episodes recorded today. So for the sake of my voice, Connie's going to be helping me a little bit in this Eclipse episode.
Yes. Ooh, before I forget, because
Yes.
I did forget, you can find us at all of our social media. They are linked below. It's been a while since we've done this. You can check them out there. If you are interested in more of our Twilight, our Eclipse, our New Moon, Jess has made playlists for those on YouTube, but you can find them on Spotify as well. Yes.
Mm-hmm. They're not in playlists, though.
Not on Spotify.
Yep.
But if you check out YouTube, it's there. We also have our Who Knows What Wednesday episodes, which can usually be true crime. Other times it's historical mysteries, oddities, supernatural. We have a separate playlist for that as well. We also have our Twilight and New Moon movie reactions. And when we finish Eclipse, we will have our Eclipse movie reaction up. And those movie reactions are YouTube exclusive. So be sure to check them out.
Yes. And they take a lot of time. So leave me a like, please.
Yes, Jess ends up watching, because she does our editing. What was it with Twilight? You ended up watching that like 4 or 5 times between like initial watch and then having to sync it up for editing.
Much more than that, unfortunately, because that was my first time editing a movie reaction and I had no idea what I was doing. So, unfortunately, it was a lot more than 4 or 5 times.
I feel like if we were an actual company at this point and we had like workers' comp and mental health benefits, you'd have to be filing a claim.
Oh, you probably, yeah. That was
distress, hostile work environment.
Will I ever watch Twilight again? No, I've watched it enough. I assure you, I've watched it enough.
No, I feel like if it was playing in a waiting room and you were sitting there, you'd be like, I'm gonna leave. Like, call me when you're ready for me.
I can't.
I don't blame you. It's so bad. But if you want to hear more about us talking about it and being horrified,
go check it out. Yeah, so today we are actually going to be doing the next 3 chapters of Eclipse.
Oh yes.
These last few, the ending of Eclipse, let's just say the ending of any Twilight book, you know what I do best. Condense. So this will be 3 and then we'll get more and more for, hopefully there'll just be 2 more after this. So
yes. Not that we don't love chatting with you guys, because we do. It's the Twilight and the Bella and the Edward.
We want to move on to something not Twilight related.
Yes. I can't stress that enough. Yes. Vampires and werewolves aren't off the table. This particular series, off the table.
Yeah, we're kind of ready for it to be done.
Yeah.
But we're just excited for what we have planned coming up.
Yes.
So make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned.
That's right. I forgot about subscribing. Subscribe, people. Please. Please. Work goes into this, mainly on Jess's part. She's carrying the podcast. Thank you. I'm just here to provide reactions and commentary, some of which ends up cut because it needs to be cut.
All right, well, chapter 18 is instruction. So Edward is driving Bella home, and she's complaining that that was the longest party in history because their graduation party.
Does she not remember the events of New Moon? That was pretty drawn out. That was pretty bloody.
I don't know. So Edward didn't seem to disagree and tells her that it's all over now. All the Cullens reassured Bella before she left. Alice patted her head. Jasper made peace swirls around her. Esme kissed her forehead and told her that everything would be all right. Emmett laughed and asked why she was the only one who was allowed to fight with werewolves.
Sorry, I'm just circling back to peace swirls. Is that like microphone is Bella?
I mean, I'm assuming like his little woo-woo like peace vibes like swirling around her. But I saw it visually too.
I saw it as that, which given how, Jasper's never going to be touchy-feely with Bella, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. You know what? He tried, and we'll appreciate the attempt.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Jacob's solution that he came up with had relaxed all the Cullens. It was a celebration for them, but not for Bella. Bella tells Edward that he is taking her with tonight. Edward tries to object and tells her that this is an experiment. He isn't sure if it'll be possible for all of them to cooperate, and he doesn't want Bella in the middle of all of that. That just made Bella even more anxious and tells him if he won't take her, she will call Jacob. Edward didn't answer. They were at Charlie's now, and Bella tells him that she'll see him upstairs. Charlie was sleeping in the living room, and Bella shook him awake and tells him that she is home now. He needs to go to his bed. It'll hurt his back if he stays down here to sleep. It took a few more shakes, but Charlie finally got up and moved upstairs and collapsed on top of the covers and began to snore again. Bella goes to get ready for bed, essentially. She then goes into her room, and Edward tells her to relax. He can feel that this will work, and this will be easy. The newborns will be completely taken by surprise, and they'll have no idea that the werewolves exist. The wolf's hunting techniques will work flawlessly against them, so there's no reason to worry. But this didn't calm Bella. The ones that she loved were going to get hurt because of her. Bella laid down, but she didn't fall asleep. After a while, he asks Bella if she's sure she doesn't want to just stay and sleep. Bella gives him a look, and he sighs and picked her up and jumped through the window. They rushed out and stopped to a big open field, the baseball clearing. She then remembers last time they were there with Laurent, James, and Victoria. Bella thinks that this is all connected. 3 bad things have happened since she came here. Bella and Jasper agree that the Volturi loved their rules and would do a better job about this. Edward tracked Victoria last year down to Texas. She could have gotten the idea there, but she doesn't know what she's doing, and the newborns got out of control. Edward points out that only Arrow knows how Alice's visions work. Bella agrees he knows best, but their friends in Denali would also know enough, and Laurent was there long enough. Who knows what he had told Victoria? Just because it wasn't her scent doesn't mean it wasn't a friend of hers, one that she's created. Edward says it's possible, but he still thinks that this is the Volturi. If it was a friend of Victoria's that had visited her house, they would have had to have been more mature. No newborn would have been able to leave Charlie alive.
Yeah, real quick, for those not remembering, there was the unknown scent in Bella's house, and some of Bella's stuff had been taken.
But it's still a possibility that this was a newborn, and if it is, Edward would be impressed that they left Charlie unharmed. They're able to keep themselves controlled enough to leave Charlie. Edward assures Bella that Victoria will never touch her. Edward wishes that she had gotten close, though, so he could end this himself. They were almost to the rest of the Cullens, and Bella asks what's wrong with Alice. They're on their way, so her not being able to see anything makes her uncomfortable.
I know I say I have control issues. Alice.
Alice has, wow. But
Now,
I get it.
I get if I was her too, and then all of a sudden that control is being taken away, I'd be like, ooh, I don't like you. Don't like you.
No. Emmett greets both of them, and Carlisle asks Edward when they'll be here. Edward tells him they'll be here in a minute and a half, but Edward will have to translate. They don't trust them enough to come in their human forms. Carlisle nods and acknowledges that this is hard for them, but he's grateful that they're coming. The Cullens widen into a loose line. Quote, I squinted toward the forest, seeing nothing. Damn, Emmett muttered under his breath. Did you ever see anything like it? Esme and Rosalie exchanged a wide-eyed glance. End quote. There weren't 6 wolves. There were 10.
Who did we add since then?
A few.
4.
A few. Yeah.
4 were at it, but I'm trying to remember who it is at this point.
I think we talk about it.
Okay. I know we do at some point, but I'm trying to remember, and it's been 10 plus years since I've read the book.
I just remember 2 of the names. I don't remember the other 2.
Yeah, I could probably brush up.
I'm
not gonna reread. We'll keep going.
We'll get there. So Edward mumbled fascinating as Carlisle took out a reassuring slow step forward. Carlisle welcomes them, and Sam's voice came from Edward saying thank you. They will watch and listen, but no more. Carlisle assures them that that is more than enough, then points out Jasper, telling them that he has experience in this area and will teach them all how to fight, how they can be defeated, and he is sure that they can apply this to their own hunting style. They are all new, only months old of this life. They won't have skill or strategy, only brute strength. Currently, they have 20. That makes 10 for each of their groups, but the numbers may go down since the new ones commonly fight amongst themselves. Sam tells them that they are willing to take more than their share, if necessary. Carlisle smiles. They'll see how things play out. They will come across the mountains in 4 days, late morning. As they approach, Alice will help them intercept their path. Sam thanks them for the information and tells them that they will watch. It was silent, and then Jasper steps into the empty space. Jasper gave a wary glance to Edward, and he nodded. Jasper then turns his back to the werewolves. They'll fight like children. There are 2 important things to remember. First, don't let them get their arms around you. And second, don't go for the obvious kill. They will expect that, and they'll be prepared for that. As long as you come from the side and keep moving, they'll be too confused to respond effectively. Jasper waves Emmett forward. He is the best example of a newborn attack. Quote, Emmett's eyes narrowed. I'll try not to break anything, he muttered. End quote. Jasper clarifies that Emmett relies on his strength, and he is very straightforward about the attack. So just go for the easy kill. Jasper backed up and tenses. He tells Jasper to catch him. Bella couldn't see exactly what was happening. It was all a blur. But any time it looked like Emmett's hands had Jasper, his fingers clenched around nothing. Suddenly, Jasper had him from behind with his teeth an inch from his throat. Emmett cussed and there was a rumble of appreciation from the wolves. Emmett's smile was gone, and he insisted in going again.
I love Emmett.
I can see this.
I can see it too. I love it though.
Oh, he's great.
He is great. And I'm with him on that one. I'm the same way. If I'm like in a situation where I'm like, wait, I just got bested again.
Let's go.
Let's go.
But Edward protests. It was his turn now. Jasper grinned and tells him in a minute he wants to show Bella something first. So he waves Alice forward. He knows that Bella is worried about Alice, but he wants to show her why that is not necessary. Alice closed her eyes as Jasper moved to Alice. Jasper sprang and was on the other side of her and continues to launch at her only to be on the other side of her. Alice didn't look like she was moving at all, but she had. She took a small step forward exactly when Jasper's body moved through where she had just been standing. Alice laughed after a while. She was now perched on his back with her lips at his neck. She kissed his throat, and Jasper chuckled and shook his head. Quote, "You truly are one frightening little monster." End quote.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute.
It was so cute. Oh, we
like
need more of this.
We do. Anytime we get to really see the two of them interacting beyond, the taking care of Bella and the hotel and Twilight and all that fun stuff, I like it. I like seeing their personalities. I think it's really sweet.
We actually get more than just surface level.
Yeah, we get more than Jasper just...
Yeah. And I know y'all have seen the memes.
Yes. Yes. Hey, the one girl who does the Jasper face.
Heck yeah.
She's good. The actor who plays Jasper. Did you see him duet that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that was great.
Love it. He is an attractive guy, too.
Oh, yeah. So the werewolves, in response to Alice, they were sounding a little weary now. Edward, sounding amused, muttered, "It's good for them to learn some respect." Then louder said, "It's his turn." As Edward left, Alice ran over to Bella and quietly whispered that she's watching her, and she will warn Edward if her plan gets any more defined. It isn't helping anything for her to put herself into danger. Bella tries to ignore her, and Alice just kept repeating her warning. Jasper and Edward were now practicing. They were at it for a while and even looked like the wolves were getting a lot out of this. Carlisle cleared his throat and Jasper laughed and stepped back from Edward. They'll call it a draw. They each took turns. Emmett even took a second turn. They wrapped it up, and Jasper invites them to come back tomorrow. Edward responds in Sam's voice, telling them that they will be back. Edward sighs and turns to his family, saying the pack thinks it would be more helpful to be familiar with each of their scents so they don't make any mistakes later. If they can all hold very still, it would make things much easier for them. Carlisle told Sam certainly, whatever they need. The pack rose. Sam stepped forward first. He approached Carlisle. Jasper stiffened, and Emmett was grinning and relaxed. When Sam sniffed Carlisle, he seemed to slightly wince, and then he moved on to Jasper. The wolf behind Sam was Jacob. Jacob left his place in line and crouched down and dropped his head so he was no higher than Bella. After confirming that this was Jacob, Bella reached her hand out. Jacob's eyes closed and he leaned his head into her hand. Bella ran fingers through his fur. She didn't realize how close she got to him, and without warning, Jacob licked her face from her chin to her hairline. Bella jumped back and smacked him, saying, "Gross, Jake." Jacob moved out of the way and let out a coughing bark that was obviously laughter. She wiped her face on her shirt sleeve and laughed with him. Everyone was watching them, the Cullens and the werewolves. The Cullens were perplexed, and Sam looked very unhappy.
I'm sure. Mostly because, let's imagine, if you will, we're the Cullens, and like our sibling is very much in love with this other person, and we just watch the rival basically aggressively kiss her face.
Yeah.
Besides like the whole species thing, like even just as a human, I'd be like, what? do do we need to start saving bail money now? Do we need to like turn off cameras? What do we need to do?
Yeah.
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 So after the wolves retreated, Edward came over and took Bella's hand and asks if she's ready to go home. He then looked over to Jacob. They were having a conversation about strategy. Jacob runs away, and Edward tells Bella that he'll be back. He wants to be able to talk for himself. They're discussing the plan on what to do with Bella during the fight. Jacob wants her to be on the reservation. They're making Kalina and Brady stay back so she'll be safe. So they're two of the wolves right there. Those are the ones that I couldn't remember.
Gotcha. I didn't remember them at all.
Yeah, so those are the two. Edward confirms that she can't stay in Forks, and Charlie will be with Billy. It won't be hard to get him there. There's a game on this Saturday. Jacob impatiently asks again about keeping her in La Push. Edward tells him she's been back and forth there too much. There is someone experienced behind this, so this could all be a distraction. He's being overcautious. They don't know what way they will take because they don't know yet. And if they cross her scent before they found them, well, it's difficult. Jacob muttered there has to be a way, then suddenly asks if his scent disgusts him. Edward knew where he was going and called Jasper over. Jacob held his hand out and explained that they're going to see if he is enough to confuse the scent and hide Bella's trail. Edward calmly tells Bella she has to let Jacob carry her. Edward tells Jasper that Bella's scent is so much more potent to him, so it would be more fair if someone else tried. Jacob turned with Bella in his arms and ran into the woods. Bella was pouting and uncomfortable. This was too intimate. They didn't.
Oh, he's still human?
Yeah.
So he's half naked at that point, and she's against his chest.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. They didn't go far, though, and Alice, Jasper, and Edward were there, and Bella asked if it worked. Jasper responded, as long as she doesn't touch anything, he can't imagine anyone would get close enough to the trail to catch her scent. It was almost completely obscured. Alice agrees that it was a success, and it gave Jasper an idea. He wants Bella to leave a false trail in the clearing. The newborns who are hunting her scent will be excited, and they will come exactly where they want them to. Alice can already see that this will work, and when they catch her scent, they will split up and try to come at them from two sides. Half will go through the forest, and then her vision suddenly disappears. Jacob hisses yes, and Edward smiles at him. Suddenly, Edward says, not a chance. His eyes were directly on Jasper. Jasper quickly said he knows he wasn't really considering it. Alice stomps on his foot, and Jasper explains that if Bella was in the clearing, it would drive them insane and they wouldn't be able to concentrate on anything else. It would make picking them off really easy. But of course, that is way too dangerous, and it was just an errant thought.
Did Stephanie can say errant thought?
Yep. You know, when she does those choice words, I have to put them in there because why?
Okay.
Edward says no, and Jasper agrees. He takes Alice's hand and asks, best 2 out of 3? Jacob looked at Jasper with disgust, and Edward tells him that Jasper is just looking at things from a military perspective. He looks at all options. Jacob snorts and edges closer to Edward. They're planning. Edward tells him he'll bring her here on Friday afternoon to leave the false trail. He can meet here after and carry her to a place completely out of the way that Edward knows. It's easily defendable, but it won't come to that. Jacob asks, then what? They'll just leave her with a phone?
So Edward's saying, like, you're going to take her to this place that I know that's easily defendable. And Jacob's like, okay, well, are we just like dropping her there and then she just has a phone and like a prayer? Or like what's
Yeah.
going on?
And Jacob smugly says, he actually does. Quote, oh, again, dog, not bad at all. End quote. That was Edward.
Yep, I figured. Again, with the...
I know.
Ugh.
Yeah. I forget those spots where like Edward's reading Jacob's mind is hard to put into words. It's, yeah.
Without directly reading and then getting us flagged for copyright.
Yeah. Jacob turns to Bella and tells her they tried to talk Seth into staying behind with the younger two wolves. Seth is too young, but he is stubborn and resisting, so a new assignment for him would be to be a cell phone. As long as he is in wolf form, he can contact the pack. Distance won't be a problem. They've only experimented with 300 miles, but it's still crystal clear. So Seth is the other wolf.
That's still pretty cool.
3.
Like crystal clear with 300 miles, but at the same time, again, the lack of privacy, the lack of like autonomy.
Yep.
No.
So Bella nods. Quote, it's a good idea. Edward seemed reluctant to admit this. I'll feel better with Seth there. Even without the instantaneous communication, I don't know if I'd be able to leave Bella there alone. To think it's come to this, through trusting werewolves. Fighting with vampires instead of against them, Jacob mirrored Edward's tone of disgust. Well, you still get to fight against some of them, Edward said. Jacob smiled. That's the reason we're here. End quote. End of chapter 18.
All right. Now, let's take a look at chapter 19. Chapter 19, Selfish. So Edward carried Bella home in his arms, and at some point she fell asleep. Bella woke up, and by the position of the sun, she assumed it was sometime in the afternoon. Bella called for Edward, and he asked if she was really awake this time. It's so weird that he just watches her sleep.
It's disturbing.
Mm-hmm. No me gusta. I don't like it.
No, it's just creepy.
It's creepy. It's very creepy.
Especially because he doesn't sleep. Like, do you literally just sit in a chair and just...
Same thing when she's eating, bathroom, any human moment. No.
I don't like.
No, thank you.
No.
Okay. So apparently Bella had been restless throughout the night and /day and had been talking in her sleep. She had a long night, so he thought she earned a day in bed. Bella went downstairs and got breakfast. When she sat and lifted her food up, she noticed the bracelet on her wrist that Jacob had given her. Edward reached for the tiny wooden wolf and asked, "May I?" Bella said yes, and he examined the wolf. All Bella could see in his eyes was thoughtfulness. Quote, "Jacob Black can give you presents," end quote. Bella reminded him that he has given her presents too, and he knows she likes things homemade. Edward asked, what about hand-me-downs? Would those be acceptable to her? Bella is confused, and Edward traced his finger around the bracelet. I thought it was about to be another face and breath thing. That's the wince. That's why I was like, no.
Mentally preparing myself.
I was like, no. I haven't seen these notes beforehand, so I'm reacting with you guys as I'm reading it. Okay. So Bella's confused, and Edward traced his finger around the bracelet. Edward asked if she'll be wearing it a lot, because she wouldn't want to hurt his feelings. Bella says, sure. Edward then asked if it was fair if he also had a little representation, a charm, something to keep him on her mind. Bella said she doesn't need a reminder, as we all well know.
Yep.
See, all of New Moon. It was damn near psychosis at that point.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was so bad. Edward asked if he gave her something he has had for a while, would she wear it? Bella responds, whatever makes him happy. Okay, that's fine. Edward then points out there has been inequality. Everyone else has been able to give her things, but he hasn't. It's totally unfair. Shut up.
I know. It's like, Edward,
You don't get to say
chill.
inequality unfair. Husha,
No.
husha.
No.
Suffer. How can she explain that? Bella shrugged. Easy. He is more important than everyone else. He gave himself to Bella, and that is more than she deserves, so anything else throws things off balance. Get therapy. Therapy. All of it.
That is not normal.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Edward's phone went off. It was Alice. He listened for a bit, then looked into Bella's eyes and told Alice, quote, I sort of guessed as much. She was talking in her sleep. He'll take care of it, end quote. He shuts his phone, and Edward asks if there is something she would like to tell him. Bella paused. She remembered Alice's warning, so she could guess what this was about. She remembered the dreams. She liked Jasper's idea. Edward groaned, and Bella continued, she wants to help, and Jasper thinks that this would help, and this is his area of expertise. He can't keep her away, and she won't hide out in the forest while everyone risks their life. Edward tells her that Alice saw her stumbling around lost in the woods and won't be able to find them. She'll make it hard for them after. Bella, trying to stay calm, tells him that Alice didn't factor in Seth Clearwater. If she had, she wouldn't have been able to see anything. Edward tells Bella that may have worked if she hadn't told him. Now he'll ask Sam to give Seth certain orders, and he won't be able to ignore that. Yeah, Bella, you walked into that one.
Yeah.
Bella kept her smile and tells him Sam would rather do her a favor than Edward. He agrees again, and then tells her he is sure Jacob would be only too eager to give those orders. Bella frowned. Edward continues. Didn't Jacob tell her he is second in command, so his orders also have to be followed? Edward continued when Bella didn't respond. Looking into the pack's mind last night was better than a soap opera.
Could you only imagine?
I believe it. I would want mind reading for that. Like, just for that. I'd be like, give me the piping hot tea.
Especially because you're about to find out who the last wolf is.
I remember.
All the drama that surrounds that.
Piping hot tea. Like, spill it on yourself and sue the establishment hot tea.
Yep.
Okay. Where are we? I'm impressed that you keep where you are when we have little tangents.
Looking into the pack.
Thank you. Looking into the pack's mind last night was better than a soap opera, as we said. Jacob has been keeping lots of secrets, like the smaller gray wolf. There are things their stories didn't prepare them for. The tribe didn't question that only the grandsons of the original wolf had the power to transform. Leah Clearwater is a wolf. Dun, dun, dun.
And that was like an atomic bomb, pretty much.
It was. If you guys remember her from previous stuff, she is Emily, Sam's wife's cousin.
Yes.
Yes.
Who was high school sweethearts with Sam.
Yeah, Sam. Like, they were going to get married and all that, and then the wolf thing happened. And then Leah learned about all this wolf stuff at the bonfire, like the Three Wives chapter, a couple chapters back. And now she's a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Fate is kind of cruel.
Mm-hmm.
So, upon learning this, Bella shrieked, why wouldn't he, Jacob, tell her? Edward tells her that there were things that Jacob wasn't allowed to share, and that Jacob was very careful and would think of other things when he was around him, but after last night, that was all out the window. Bella then thought of Leah and Sam and how the night of the bonfire she had seen a tear on her cheek, how Billy was over with Sue because she was having problems with her kids. Both were werewolves. Imagine that as a mom.
I know.
You lost your husband abruptly and traumatically.
Very.
And now this.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And now Leah was a part of Sam's pack. She could hear all of his thoughts, and he could hear all of hers. Oh, that's cruel.
Yeah, how awful.
If you had to put me in the same, like, open mind thing with an ex that I had a bad ending with, Correction, that I was the one who suffered on that one.
No.
You don't want to hear my thoughts.
No.
You do not want those. Those should not be said or thoughts. Period.
Just a very bad situation.
That's like worst case scenario. Even with my husband today, I don't think I know we should not share 100% of our thoughts with each other. Mind reading?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. We are all first. Okay. Bella whispered, "Poor Leah," and Edward snorted, saying she's making life unpleasant for the rest of them. He isn't sure she deserves her sympathy. Bella asks for clarification. Edward tells her it's hard enough for them having to share all their thoughts. Most try to cooperate to make it easier, but when just one is deliberately malicious, it is painful for everyone. Bella muttered, "She has reason." Edward agrees. Quote, "The imprinting compulsion is one of the strangest things I've ever witnessed in my life, and I've seen some strange things. The way Sam is tied to his Emily is impossible to describe, or should I say her Sam. Sam really had no choice. It reminds me of a Midsummer's Night Dream with all the chaos caused by the fairy's love sleeps, like magic. It's very nearly as strong as the way I feel about you." Real quick, end quote. Of course, he's a Midsummer's Night Dream.
Of course.
Of course. If Edward weren't a vampire, he would be the dude at a coffee shop ordering black coffee because that's who he is, smoking unfiltered cigarettes, dating someone who is barely above 18 and thinks that having no interest is cool.
Yeah, I can see it.
Couple of collar or popped collar and
oh,
buttons
for sure.
undone.
Yep.
Maybe suspenders. Sits like... Yeah. And if I just described you with love, evaluate, hop on Pinterest, create a mood board. Self-help. Stop doing unfiltered cigarettes. Stop doing cigarettes. Who does that in this day and age?
Don't smoke.
Don't smoke. Okay. Midsummer's Night Dream. So Leah will constantly bring up things that they'd rather not think of, like Embry. His mother moved here from the Macaw Reservation when she was pregnant with him. Everyone assumed she had left his father, but Embry joined the pack, which means the prime candidates would be Quill Sr., Joshua Ule, or Billy Black. Ooh, forgot about that.
Yep. Piping hot tea over here.
Piping hot tea. All of whom were married at that point. Well, that doesn't mean shit to some people.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that person. So now Sam, Jacob, and Quill are all wondering which of them is his half-brother. They all want Joshua to be his father since he has never really been a father to Sam, but there's always doubt. Jacob has never asked Billy. Well, yeah, how do you do that?
Can't even bring it up.
Can't even bring that up.
No.
Just be like, "Hey, Dad, do we have mustard in there? By the way, did you cheat on Mom and father a son besides me?"
Yikes.
So no mustard? Cool.
Yeah.
Quote, "The pack mind is mesmerizing, all thinking together and then separately at the same time. There's so much to read," end quote. Sounds like a migraine.
It sounds awful.
Sounds awful. Overstimulating.
Ooh.
Let's see. Bella brings the conversation back and tells Edward she has to be there. He says no. But it isn't about the clearing. Not really. She just had to be where Edward was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because of course.
Codependency. Oi.
It's really bad.
It's bad. Bella looks away from him and confesses that she has already gone crazy once. Never stopped going crazy. She's still there. She knows her limits. No, she don't.
Nope.
And she can't stand if he leaves her again. Probably. Sorry. The problem is with reading, the filter part that keeps the comments back is filtered this.
Gone.
Gone. Oy. Note to self, don't be a newscaster. Or do. It'd be very interesting.
I think people would like that.
I think I'd get fired real quick.
Well,
They'd have to broadcast on a delay, so they have a few seconds to cut. Let's see. She didn't look up, but suddenly his arms were around her. He was comforting her. It isn't like that. He won't be far, and it'll be over quickly. Edward assures her there is no reason for her fears. They'll all be fine. Bella asks if it is so simple, could he sit out or could he let her be there? After a long silence, Edward pulls out his phone and asks if Alice can come babysit Bella.
yep.
He needs to talk to Jasper.
He really did say that.
If at any point Johnny calls you and is like, hey, can you babysit Connie? Unless I am like infirm and like literally can't do nothing, it's a concern thing, smack him.
I will. Well, first off, I will say yes. Drive over here, get you, bring you to a safe place, and then whenever he comes back, I'll be like, okay, we are having a conversation now. Sit your butt down. Connie is somewhere safe. Me and you.
Babysit Bella. Just so y'all know, her husband, neither of them would ever do that. I'm just giving you an example here. But babysit. Ooh, okay. You know, it could be joking if he hadn't done the whole imprisonment thing earlier.
No, this is serious. And this is not, by the way, this is not the first time babysat has been thrown around.
Yeah, you're right.
It's thrown around quite often. Quite often.
I don't feel like it's coming as a term of endearment totally anymore.
No.
It may have started that way and now it's turned to, no, this feels like babysit. Like legit babysit. Who? Opinions. Okay. All right. Alice can come babysit. He hangs up and he tells Bella he will discuss him sitting out. Bella apologized. For what? Sorry. So Bella apologized and Edward tells her to not. She gave him 2 options she could live with and he chose the one he could live with. That's compromise. Bella thanks him. They hugged and Edward suddenly asked about the 3rd wife. She was mumbling something about the 3rd wife. Bella, in her sleep. Bella tells him it was one of the stories at the bonfire, and before he could ask, Alice was there, and she grumbled he was going to miss all the fun. Edward promises he'll be back, but they need to rearrange everything. Alice tells him there isn't much to do. She already told them, and Emmett is pleased.
Well, of course he's pleased.
Of course he's pleased.
More for him.
Yeah. He's loving this.
It's like, you mean that I can potentially, get 3 or 4 instead of just 1 or 2?
Well, yeah.
Let's do it.
This is like the best Saturday ever for Emmett. If the book was from his perspective, it would be the best Saturday ever. That would be it.
Yep.
Hey, man, he's got a positive disposition. I'll take it. One of the few in this book. Let's see. Bella apologizes again, even though she doesn't have any reason to, and asks if this will make it more dangerous for them. Alice snorts and tells Bella she is going to grow gray hair prematurely. She is upset because Edward is so grouchy when he doesn't get his way. She is just anticipating living with him for the next few months. Yeah. Alice tells Bella to clean up. Charlie will be back in 15 minutes. Bella was back to being presentable by the time Charlie got home. Charlie greeted Alice and tells her that everyone has been talking about their party and asks if Edward is still cleaning up. Alice tells him that Edward and everyone are planning a trip. They always go backpacking at the end of the school year as a celebration, but she decided this year she wanted to shop instead and no one will hang back with her. Charlie offered for her to come stay with them. Oh,
so sweet.
Love that. Alice had to stomp on Bella's foot twice. Wow, imagine the control that took of her strength.
Right?
That should have shattered her foot. Which, I mean, kind of surprised they didn't, because at this point in the book, I could see Edward being like, shatter her foot so she can't run.
Oof.
But give her the good meds so she doesn't feel it.
I could see it. That's a sad thing.
That's the sad thing. Don't do that. Don't do that. If someone hurts you to try to help you, but like physically hurts you like that, that ain't help. That's not. Nope. That is a call to 911.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Bella tells Charlie that Bella probably doesn't want to sleep on her floor. Charlie then suggests Bella stay with her until her folks get back. Alice is excited and asks if she would go shopping with her. Bella agrees. They are leaving tomorrow, so it would be perfect if she could come after dinner. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart.
This whole plan just went
On cue.
so smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. And it all hinged on the fact that Edward wasn't there. That's why Charlie's like, yeah,
Absolutely. Edward's gone? Heck yeah.
go
We
for
like
it.
Alice.
We like Alice. Edward can stay gone. Same Charlie. Same
Yep.
Charlie.
I agree.
Alice is talking about going shopping out of town on Saturday, and Charlie interjects, not Seattle. Alice agrees. She was thinking Olympia. Charlie was cheerful and tells Bella she'll like that. She should go. Bella agrees. For those who don't remember, Seattle's where all the murders and stuff are happening.
Yep.
Once Alice left, Bella excused herself and Charlie protested that she can't be tired already. No wonder she doesn't like parties. It takes her so long to recover.
Me.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep. Bella goes upstairs to see Edward on her bed. She asks if Alice told her she is kidnapping her again. He tells her that she isn't, quote,
You'll love it. Do you want me to say it?
got it, quote, I'm the only one who has permission to hold you hostage. Remember? End quote.
I am so proud of you, Connie.
Whoo, that was a whoo. Mm-hmm. We're not even going to touch on that one right now. This would be way too damn long of an episode. Ooh, all right. Mm-hmm. Alice will be going hunting, and everyone else now doesn't need to. Bella asks why Alice didn't just tell Charlie they were leaving tonight. Edward laughed in relief. They left for the clearing. She was still guilty and afraid, but maybe things would be okay. Jasper and Emmett were wrestling when they arrived, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Bella looked to see the wolves. It was just Jacob, Quill, and Embry. There was no need for all of them to be there, and Sam wouldn't let him be there by himself, even though Jacob was willing. Edward will be helping with whatever Jasper needs. Bella watched and struggled to convince herself that everything would be okay. Jacob smiled at Bella. Oh, he's in human form. And Bella tried to smile back.
No, he's not.
Oh. It's a smile. And, well, dogs kind of.
Dogs
okay.
can smile.
Yeah. All right. So Jacob smiled at Bella, and Bella tried to smile back. Jacob sprang to his feet and trotted to them. Edward politely greeted him, but Jacob ignored him. He was looking at Bella. Jacob put his head to her level, cocked it to one side, and let out a low whimper. She tells him she's fine, she's just worried. Quote, Jacob continued to stare at me. He wants to know why, Edward murmured. Jacob growled, not a threatening sound, an annoyed sound, and Edward's lips twitched. What? I asked. He thinks my translations leave something to be desired. What he actually thought was, quote, that's really stupid. What is there to be worried about? I edited because I thought it was rude. End quote. I can just hear that line being delivered.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, boys.
Boys. Bella tells him there's plenty to be worried about. Edward asks if she'll be okay without a translator. Jasper is wanting help. Bella will manage, and she sat down. Jacob took a step forward, looked at Bella, and then whined. Bella tells him to go without her. She doesn't want to watch. Jacob cocked his head again and then laid on the ground next to Bella and let out a sigh. Bella assured him that he can go without her. Jacob just put his head down on his paws. Bella shivered, and Jacob scooted closer to her to warm Bella. Convenient. She thanks him and eventually leans against him and started absent-mindedly running her fingers through the fur on his neck. Jacob made a rumble sound. It was homey and rougher than a cat's purr, but gave the same sense of contentment. Bella asked if he is worried about Saturday at all. He turned his head and rolled his eyes. Bella wished she could be that positive. Jacob put his head against her leg and started humming again, and it made Bella feel better. Quote, so we've got some hiking to do tomorrow, I guess. He rumbled. The sound was enthusiastic. It might be a long hike, I warned him. Edward doesn't judge distances the way a normal person does. End quote. Jacob barked another laugh. No, it's still the continuation of the same quote. Apologies. I settled deeper into his warm fur, resting my head against his neck. It was strange. Even though he was in this bizarre form, this felt more like the way Jake and I used to be. The easy, effortless friendship that was as natural as breathing in and out. Then the last few times I've been with Jacob when he was human. Friendship, honey, it was never friendship like that. Odd that I should find that again here, when I thought this wolf thing was the cause of its loss. The killing games continued in the clearing, and I stared at the hazy moon. End quote.
And end of chapter 19.
End of chapter 19. Again, props to you. It's really hard to like comment and move and not lose the spot.
I basically have to scroll after every bullet point, and that's how I keep my spot.
And just keep it at the top. I wasn't doing that. That's why I was like, where am I going?
Yeah, because you can get easily lost.
Yeah, that's why I indent like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the only way I keep track of stuff, and even then I lose my spot.
Yeah.
All right, final chapter.
All right, chapter 20, Compromise. Bella was packed and ready for her 2-day visit with Alice. Bella gave the concert tickets to Angela, Ben, and Mike, who then also took Jessica. Billy had borrowed Old Quill's boat and invited Charlie to go fishing with him before the game started. Cullen and Brady, who were the 2 youngest wolves, were staying back to protect La Push.
Wait, his name's Cullen or
I guess
Colin?
It's Colin.
Collin?
Yes.
Colin.
Cullen. Close enough.
I feel that.
Colin. I definitely wrote the wrong name down in the first chapter of this, so apologies. I don't remember.
I was wondering who that other person was.
Yeah, Colin.
Colin and Brady.
Colin and Brady.
Okay.
There's only one female. My bad.
I heard it end in an A, and I'm like, maybe I'm just not remembering it right.
No, that was a spelling error. My bad. Edward requested that Bella relax and just spend the night trying to forget everything except for them. Bella tried her best, but things other than the upcoming fight were occupying her mind, like how she was ready to join Edward's family and his world. She would wait, though, for there to not be any impending doom, so Edward would be satisfied, but she was ready. There was one human experience she would insist on, though, before she became inhuman. Bella was nervous as she stopped at Edward's house. He lifted her from the cab with one hand and then took her bag out. He kissed her hand and kicked the truck door shut. He was full of enthusiasm, but also anxiousness. Edward tells her welcome home. He has something for her, the hand-me-down that Bella allowed him to gift her. He once again scooped her up and whooshed her to his room. Bella plopped down on the bed, and Edward darted into his closet. When he came back, he sat on the bed next to Bella. He reminded her that this was a hand-me-down and put something on her bracelet. Bella examined it. It was a heart-shaped crystal that was his mother's. He felt that this was a good representation of him. It's hard, cold, throws rainbows in the sun. His heart is just as silent, and it is also hers.
Stephanie, that's a lot of metaphor you're putting there, and also lends to the whole thing of Edward has never not come from money, even when he was human.
Yeah.
Money.
Yep. So Bella thanks him. Edward grinned and thanks her. It's a relief that she is now accepting gifts easily. Bella leaned into him, and Bella asks if they can discuss something and he be open-minded. Edward cautiously agrees to try. He pointed out that her heart is fluttering like a hummingbird and asks if she's okay.
That's creepy. That's creepy as fudge. Trying my best.
I can just think when I'm bringing patients to the hospital, like obviously I can't hear their heart like speeding up or whatever, but there was a patient recently where all of a sudden I looked at the monitor and looked at my patient. I'm like, Are you okay? Your heart rate just went up like 40 points. Are you okay?
Yeah. Again, in that context, yes. But in daily conversation, I don't want people to hear my heart. I don't want to hear somebody else's heartbeat.
Hey, Connie, your heart's racing over there. You good?
No, we're nice and calm, actually. That's the nice thing about being Italian. You can be very energetic and upset about something without expending a lot of effort.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's from years of weird stuff in genetics. A lot of toxicity, probably. Said with love.
So, Bella wants to renegotiate the marriage condition. She is wondering if he is still open. He frowns. He agrees to take her life away. He should be entitled to have her compromise.
I think I remember this.
Oh, you definitely do.
Okay. And I just want to be clear before we go into this conversation. This conversation is happening at the Cullen home where the other Cullens are. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm just
fairly certain it's not an empty house, but
I'm just gonna let you finish and then I'm gonna put my comments in.
all right. Well, so Bella shakes her head. That's a done deal. She wants to look at other details, like the prerequisites. Edward tells her she knows what he wants. Matrimony to start. If they are married, what's his is hers, like money. So there wouldn't be an issue with Dartmouth. Yeah.
I think so.
Dartmouth, and he wants time. Just a year or two. Bella refuses to consider any more time. Edward didn't realize that there was anything more that she wanted than to be transformed into a monster, so he's curious. Bella doesn't respond but starts to blush. He tells her the suspense is painful. Bella is worried about after, since they're all convinced that she will be slaughtering everyone in town. She is worried that she won't be her anymore, and that she won't want Edward in the same way that she does now. Edward assures her, but Bella continues that there is still one thing that she does want to do before she is no longer a human. After a lot of coaxing, she tells him she wants him. Edward didn't fully realize what she was asking at first, but when he did, he tells her she needs to be reasonable. They aren't having that discussion.
Real quick, for those who haven't picked up on it, she meant biblically. Sex. Intercourse. With him and her.
Yep.
You know, I've heard of a lot of people sticking stuff in areas. I don't know if I've heard of people sticking basically a giant ice cube up there.
My mind went to corpse, but
Oh,
yeah.
Yep, no, that's... I hate that I have to redact what I just said. Yeah, necrophilia.
Yep. Wow, we've been doing too many Wednesday episodes.
Too many Wednesday episodes.
Okay, ready to continue.
No, let's go.
Bella tells him it's not fair that he asks for marriage, but she can't even discuss this. Bella's rambling, and Edward places a hand over her mouth and tells her no. Bella takes a deep breath and allows the anger to fade. She started to blush. Her eyes started to tear up, and she wanted to run from the room, run from his rejection. Edward sighs and takes his hand away and asks what now. Bella mumbles nothing. Edward is shocked. Has he hurt her feelings?
Sorry.
She has to know why he has to say no. He does want her too. She is just too desirable. And that's why I kept going, because I was like, no, it gets...
That is the epitome of, it's not you, it's me, really. You're just too good.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You're taking that as a rejection.
Yeah. So Bella's doubting all that Edward says.
I would too. I'd be like, so you'll marry me, but you won't do the thing that you do after marriage. What am I to you? Obviously a
Yeah.
child, because babysitting.
Yeah, we've established that one. So Edward tells her he'll send out a petition. Some names will surprise her. He can even tell her whose names would be on the top.
For desiring her?
Yep. Yep. Bella then recounts all of Edward's demands: marriage, paying her tuition, more time, and a new vehicle. Edward tells her that only the first is a demand, the other are requests. Bella points out she has one solitary demand. Marriage is a stretch for her, and she won't do it unless she gets something in return.
No sex is worth this. Okay.
Edward tells her no, it isn't possible. It will be possible later when she isn't as breakable. She has to be patient. Bella tells him that is the problem. It won't be the same when she's less breakable. Edward assures her that she'll still be Bella, and the bloodlust will pass. He points out the fact that Bella is alive proves that what they always want is blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bella points out that he's been a vampire for over 80 years. She knows that intellectually she will be able to eventually be herself, but physically she'll always be thirsty. Edward didn't answer, and that was enough confirmation for her. Edward tells her that he could kill her. Bella doesn't think he could, though. To prove his point, Edward takes a metal flower from the bed frame and crushes it in his hand in front of her.
Who has metal flowers on their... Okay.
I don't know, but that isn't what Bella meant, though. She knows he can physically hurt her, but he doesn't want to hurt her so much that she doesn't believe that he ever could. Edward isn't sure that it works like that. It's a risk, and he would never want to put them in that position. Bella pleads with him. It's the only thing she wants. He doesn't have to make any guarantee, but just try. If he tries, then she'll marry him, let him pay for Dartmouth, and she won't even complain about the bribe to get her in. He could even buy her a car if that would make him happy. Edward can't believe all of the things he wants to give her. This is what she demands from him. Bella pleads again. Edward was shaking his head, and when he turned his head to Bella, she kissed him. Bella thought he would push her away, but he didn't, and he wasn't gentle. There was desperation now. He kept kissing her. Bella gasped for air, and Edward continued on her neck. Bella saw this as a victory. They began kissing again. Bella tries to get her shirt off, but Edward tells her not tonight. He isn't saying no, but not tonight. Bella asks why not. Edward tells her if she gets her way tonight, what stops her from going to Carlisle tomorrow and turning her? No, he's waiting until they're married. That's the deal.
Okay, but also in the house. Family nearby.
Granted, okay, my thought though is privacy really privacy because you got 3 other couples that live there too.
Yeah, they talk about that later. They go
that's
separate
cool.
place.
Okay.
At one point, actually, I can share this now without any spoilers. Apparently, when Emmett was first turned, he and Rosalie banged so much that it was hard for the rest of the family to look them in the eye for a while. So, like, no, it's
there
a thing.
Go. All right. Okay.
It's a thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's like it would be like having basically a giant open dorm room. You don't hook up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, one night stand with your roommate right there. And if you do, you're a bad roommate. You're a bad roommate. Or your roommate's into voyeurism and you're a good roommate. I don't know.
So Bella thinks that this is a bad idea. Edward isn't surprised. Bella reluctantly agrees. She is a little happy, but not about getting married. Bella tries to persuade him more that she will go through with her promise. Edward changes the subject by asking how many people in this room have a soul. Bella responds 2. Edward points out that whatever belief system there is, thou shalt not kill is usually there as a rule, and he's killed people. Maybe it counts that some are bad, but also it might not. But Bella hasn't killed anyone, and he will try his best to keep her out of temptation's way. Bella reminds him they aren't fighting over killing people. Edward continues, the one thing he has left is his virtue. He is worried about it being too late for him, and Bella points out that they'll just never die. Bella changes the subject back and tells him that this will speed things up. Quote, there is only one thing that I want to speed up, and the rest can wait forever. But for that, it's true. Your impatient human hormones are my most powerful ally at this point. End quote.
He's right. I don't like it. I don't like it. I really don't like it.
No, he is so right. But wow.
Yeah, Bella's finally acting her age, though. Like a true 17 hormonal.
Isn't she 18 at she's 18
Oh,
at this
she's
point.
18, but like,
Still, yeah.
yeah, yeah. yeah. Ooh, if Bedward. Well, he's in a
Couple names.
bed. He's Bedward. Yeah, Bella
Oh,
Edward, Bedward. Um, but if Edward was turned at 17, boys at 17 are kind of just perpetually hormonally influenced.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Props to him on holding back, I guess. I don't even know. I didn't want to think about any of this, but here
Nope.
we are.
Here we are. So Edward tells her that they don't need a big production. They don't have to tell anyone or change anything. They'll just go to Vegas. She can even wear jeans. He just wants he wants it to be official that she belongs to him and no one else. Bella tells him that it couldn't be any more official, but Edward isn't so sure. He supposes she wouldn't want her ring now, right? He's correct. She doesn't want it. He asks if she wants to see it. No. Edward's face fell, and Bella continues unless he really, really wants to show her. Edward shrugged that it's okay, it can wait. Bella sighs and asks to see the ring. Eventually, Edward grabs a small box and places it on Bella's knee and tells her to go ahead. Bella didn't want to hurt him again, and she hesitated to open the box. Bella confirms that he didn't spend a lot of money on this, right? He didn't. It was the ring his father gave his mother. Bella was surprised and was still hesitating to open the box. Edward apologized for it being old. It might be outdated, and he could get her something more modern. Bella opens the box. It's a long oval that is set with rows of round stones and a gold band. Bella is shocked. It's beautiful. Edward asks to put it on to see if it fits. Bella clenched her hand, and he assures her that he won't solder it to her finger. He just needs to know if he needs to get it resized.
Also, in my opinion, it's not bad, but it looks like costume jewelry. I would not say it's a beautiful ring, and I would not say it's indicative of like the 1900s when he probably late 1890s to 1900s when it should have been.
Dreaming. I have not seen it, so I have no idea.
You'll see it in the movie.
Yeah, I figured. That's why I didn't look it up or anything.
Yeah.
But also, if you don't want to put a ring on that much,
I mean, she's really just against marriage, which I get it. Kid of divorce and all that other stuff, and like everything that she's probably seen with her mom. And I'm just making an assumption. I feel like Renee had a lot of flings here and there.
oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I can get why she'd be like, I see where this is coming from, but that ring is poison. So on the few times I'm like, I'm not fully disagreeing with Bella on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. But in any other situation, though, if the guy, offers you a ring and you don't want to put it on, yeah, that's a sign. That's a sign.
Yeah, I'd say that's a flag that you need to at least internally figure out, maybe with the therapist, what it means.
Very much. Even if the ring is ugly. I know someone that got proposed to where she accidentally found the ring as she was like reaching behind the car or car seat to grab something from the little pouch behind while she was on her date with, at the time, boyfriend. And she found the ring box. She pulled it out and she's like, oh my God, is this that date? Opened it, saw that it was a giant hot pink diamond in a rose gold
What?
setting.
Ew.
Yeah, but here's the thing. She put it back and she was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And he proposed shortly after and like she still accepted it. She loved it. They eventually swapped out the gem. But the thing was, her now husband is colorblind.
Oh, poor guy
Colorblind.
had
And
no
so what he
idea.
did is he asked his sister for help trying to figure out a ring that she would like. And so his sister went on to her Pinterest, like my friend's Pinterest, but my friend hadn't updated her Pinterest since she was in dance in high school and college. So
Ooh,
it was like
tastes change a lot.
a lot, but it was all like pink stuff because that's what she had to be wearing. So her sister's like, or now sister-in-law was like, well, she really likes pink. They're happily married. Everything's wonderful. But like, even if you don't 100% love the ring, you still put it on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was really sweet. And it was actually, I love that story because the two of them are the sweetest couple ever. And she's like, I'm really glad I got a chance to see the ring before he proposed so I could be ready for that.
Yeah, could you imagine the shock factor?
Yeah, and it was pretty. I saw it. It was
Okay.
very pretty. She kept the setting. The setting was very nice, but they switched it to a regular.
Yeah.
Then I was like, that looks really good. It was sweet. But again, sorry, little story of if you don't accept the ring, it's a sign.
Yes. So it fits Bella perfectly.
Of course it does. Sorry.
Edward liked the sight of the ring on Bella's finger. Edward asks if he can do something, and Bella agrees.
Well, we know it ain't going to be sexual, so I don't know why I'm cringing. Oh, because it could be breath.
I have no idea what this could be, actually.
Oh, good. So we're both going to be surprised.
Now, I want to do this right. Please, please keep in mind that you've already agreed to this and don't ruin it for me. Oh no, I gasped as he slid down onto one knee. Be nice, he muttered. I took a deep breath. Isabella Swan, he looked up at me through his impossibly long lashes, his golden eyes soft but somehow still scorching. I promise to love you forever, every single day of forever. Will you marry me? There were many things I wanted to say, some of them not nice at all, and others more disgustingly gooey and romantic than he probably dreamed I was capable of. Rather than embarrassing myself with either, I whispered yes. Thank you, he said simply. He took my left hand and kissed each of my fingertips before he kissed the ring that was now mine. End quote. End of chapter 20.
He went like you're licking chicken.
Apparently. It was a choice.
Basically is chicken for him, so.
You're not wrong.
I'm not. I would like to be, but I'm not.
No, but we're here.
But we're here. Well, any final thoughts on those 3 chapters?
I'm glad they're done.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy sitting here and making fun of this book.
Oh, yes. But it's a coping mechanism for the suffering that's alongside it. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Any final thoughts from you?
I think I've voiced many thoughts already. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's keep the ball rolling. I'm looking forward to our next book.
Yeah. No, we our hopes are that we can get through the biggest and final Twilight book really fast so we can move on to something else.
Fingers crossed. But until next time, if you'd like to see more of our episodes, you should check out all of our social medias. They are linked in the description below. You will find that we update Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays are our book review, and Wednesdays are our Who Knows What Wednesday, which is true crime, murder, mystery,
Who knows what?
oddities, historical biography, who knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah. But until next time, adios.
Bye.
Let's get some tacos.